Hello everyone, I'm Tofu, and today on the island of Tanglewood we're going to be doing a few island home renovations. So I'm going to be doing a few renovations for a couple of the villagers, starting with Goldie, and then I'll be showing off some areas that I've built off camera that you haven't seen before. So I'm going to talk to Nook and obviously get that sorted. I'll see you at Goldie's house. So we jump into remodeling Goldie's house. I didn't necessarily specify how many houses I was going to do, but I wanted to make sure that I had essentially enough content to show you guys. I didn't want to do just 2 houses, for instance, and turn out that actually it's a really short episode. So I ended up doing 3. I ended up doing Goldie's, Grizzly's, and Coco's house. Started off with Goldie's, obviously, and I actually really liked Goldie's house, just as a standard house. But I thought it needed a bit more kind of like lightening up, so I went with very kind of like light tone woods, and chose things like the screen wallpaper and the Rush Tatami mat. Really kind of, like I said, lighten up the space, make it feel a lot more bright, and I think it just kind of suits Goldie's kind of personality a bit more, to be honest. I really like the effect that the climbing walls give, like the kind of wood panelling if you actually turn them around, and so you hide the actual climbing wall part of the climbing wall itself. And I use a lot of naturally light colour furniture, so I use a lot of the rattan furniture and change it to a lighter colour. So you'll notice obviously the bed, wardrobe, and I use a small desk to put a TV on later. And because obviously it's a tofu build, naturally there will be a lot of plants involved as well. I really wanted to give that kind of cosy feeling. I think it just suits kind of, to be honest, most normal personalities, but especially Goldie, I think it just works. I did want to make sure there were lots of kind of natural kind of blues and greens in this build as well. So naturally the plants are going to help massively with the green tones. But I make sure that I get a lot of blue, so the bed has obviously blue on it. I end up putting a blue TV, a blue rug later on. In fact, here's the blue rug now. Fabulous. But out of the 3 houses I ended up remodeling, I think this was the easiest. I did actually plan all 3 out previously, and I was working off of a reference photo. However, you might notice that when it comes to Grizzlies, I had real trouble for a while trying to find a very specific item. Whereas I didn't have that with Goldie's house. Everything just kind of came together really nicely, and it was done really quick. In fact, it was probably so quick that I didn't really need to speed it up, but there you go. I thought it'd just be easier to make sure that everything's done almost like a speed build. It's all the same speed, so it wouldn't be very kind of jarring to the viewer. I wanted to make sure that I had obviously some kind of study desk and like a small kind of bookshelf area. Again, just a kind of small nod to the fact that she is a normal personality, so they do like kind of mentioning about reading or studying, things like that. Just doing the kind of finishing touches now, so I'm adding various kind of items onto the wall. There's going to be a lot of the kind of dried flowers, to be honest, but I did put the cuckoo clock. I thought that just kind of fit nicely with the wood tones. And again, the kind of light furniture feel. And then just a small corkboard next to the kind of study desk as well, just to kind of really emphasise that that corner is the kind of work desk. So if she wants to write anything, you know, obviously if she wants to sit down and read, she can do that there. And with that, Goldie's house is pretty much done. I did have to then move that cushion, unfortunately, to try and access the music box. But then I put Forest Life. Again, I thought it suited Goldie kind of down to a T. Then we move on to Grizzly. However, unfortunately, Nook kind of informed me that he was feeling under the weather, so I had to go and give him medicine before I could then actually proceed. I really was kind of surprised with Grizzly's house, like his interior, and I don't like it. It's just very kind of plain and boring, to be honest. I don't think it really suits him. Like, he definitely gives that, it might be the flannel shirt, but definitely gives a kind of rugged lumberjack king kind of vibe, in my opinion. So that's kind of what I'm going with. I'm going with like a indoors, again, very woodsy kind of feel, much like Goldie, but a lot kind of darker and like more red kind of tones, to be honest. But I wanted to have the kind of almost forest flooring, like the very colourful flooring, and then almost create like a deck that he kind of mostly works on. But then, because of the leaf kind of flooring, I wanted that kind of pine tree to be part of the build. Again, really kind of giving off those kind of vibes that he is like lumberjack, and so he's very kind of like into his woods and into his trees. I did actually have to cut out a bit earlier where I spent a good 3 minutes looking for a particular item. It was a storage shed, and I know it is in there because obviously, like I said, I'd planned these out previously, and so it took me forever to find it. I thought I'd cut it out of the footage, and then annoyingly I find it quite easily like later on. But a lot of these tones, obviously I've gone for very orangey or redwood. I wanted to make sure that he had some kind of kitchenette and obviously a workbench. Kind of makes it look like he does his kind of projects all on the kind of right hand side. I made sure he had a wood burning stove because that just felt like that would suit him. And then various items like the bamboo lamp, a barrel, and I've put the axe, just again a small nod to the fact that he's meant to be a lumberjack. I thought the billiards table would be just a nice little kind of touch of recreation for him as well, so it's not all work. I think this is roughly where I end up finding the shed. And I honestly could not believe how long it took me to actually find that. But it really just kind of like cemented in my mind that I knew it was there and I wasn't going crazy. Then various items obviously on the wall. I added a pitcher plant just to kind of give that the jungle kind of wall as the accent wall. Just a little bit kind of more life, make it seem like almost the jungle's kind of trying to poke through. Added various kind of items like the kitchen knives and obviously the pots and pans and things onto the area around the kitchen. I did the kind of, I guess the welcome sign, I don't remember what it's called, but the big wooden sign with the Japanese-esque kind of writing, because I just thought it feels very kind of like suited to not only Grizzly but this kind of house. And also the deer decoration as well, I thought would really kind of fit nicely. And then last but not least, we move on to Coco's house. I actually don't mind Coco's house. It's a little bit kind of plain, but I kind of like the vibe. I like obviously the wallpaper is that kind of compacted dirt. But I wanted this kind of build to be really kind of a bit mysterious. Obviously Coco is a little bit strange looking. In a nice way, I really do like her design. I think she's one of the more unique characters. But I wanted to kind of play off that. I did kind of find it funny in my own head certainly that I have Filbert kind of around the UFO kind of build site that I did previously, and in my headcanon he's so focused on Roswell being this alien and he's got all these kind of conspiracy theories that he just completely overlooks the fact that Coco is kind of a bit weird herself. So that's what I'm playing into, and she's got like this kind of mysterious, almost like cavern like house, and so I've added the kind of ruined like pillars and the ruined archway. I add the kind of outdoor bath, or outdoor pond. I'm not really sure what it's called, I forget. But lots of stone. I end up putting in a altar. I think this is me looking for it at the moment. Again, really trying to hammer home that kind of mysterious feeling and just like a little bit weird, a little bit strange. Like who knows what she's actually doing with this altar. Unlike Goldie's house, I didn't actually add any music into either Grizzly's or Coco's home. As far as Coco's home, obviously she's got the water flowing. I thought that was quite a nice ambient kind of sound, and again kind of adds a little bit to that mystery, you know. When you walk into a kind of mostly silent room and all you can hear is literally the kind of splashing of water. I thought thought the fortune telling set would be just a nice little touch, again kind of just a little nod to the fact that, you know, there's a bit of mystery, maybe there's a bit of kind of occult hobby going on with Coco. You just can't really tell. And then this is just a personal touch. I'm using the fact that she is obviously mysterious, and I've put Rudy's photo up on the altar, so she is going to help me summon Rudy for my next few villager hunts, and I am guaranteed to get him because of this. I then add just various kind of items up on the wall, so I thought this kind of stick wreath seemed kind of a bit almost pagan. And then I add some kind of wood tone-ish gyroids just to kind of dance around, add another little bit of kind of sound. You don't necessarily notice them straight away, so if you obviously pan around the room, you'll notice them. But until you do, you'll just hear these kind of weird little tinkling noises. And naturally, because we're going for a underground kind of cavern-esque room, I end up adding a few of the kind of vines, like hanging vines, and then the glowing moss vines as well. And with that, we are done. So there we have it, guys. There's the designs for Goldie, Grizzly and Coco's house. Hopefully you enjoyed what I did. And now we're just going to cut off to me basically showing off the areas of the island that I've built off camera that you haven't seen already. So, see you there. So firstly we're going to start off just beyond the museum. So I've shown this area off already, but just beyond here we have the road leading up to Goldie's house. So she has a small kind of overgrown farm just kind of to the right of her house. Obviously just here we have the entrance to the secret beach. So very simple kind of design, but I thought it left a little bit of kind of mystery. Like there's a little bit of ruins obviously on the beach. We have Goldie's house, and she has a small kind of little reading area, just a small nod to the fact that she is obviously a normal personality and they do love reading and books. Diagonal bridge leading over to this way, where all my kind of flowers and bushes are stored for when I do builds. But then we go up the stairs, up to this third level, and the road leading up to Grizzly's house. And he is kind of my rugged lumberjack king, and so naturally he's surrounded by kind of trees and a little workbench, a chopped down tree and things like that. I think it kind of really suits him. And now, quick jump cut down over to the tailors. Okay, so I'm back. So again, much like earlier, this is something I've obviously shown off before. I did a build video on the tailors and around the kind of beach area. I didn't show off Freya's house or the beach around that, so this is Freya's house. She's in front of this cliff with this Stonehenge, but I thought I'll just give her a nice kind of area with a pergola, a yuzu kind of bath. She's got a surfboard near the front, and it just kind of feels kind of lived in. There's a little sandcastle and a campfire in front of her house. I've used this mossy path to kind of basically path along the beach. This obviously goes round to Filbert's house. Oh, and Deirdre wants to say hello, so hello. Oh, I do happen to have one. I know, that's crazy. Yeah, sure, whatever. And good. As long as you're happy. Anyway, we move on with my presentation, I guess. So, you go upwards, and we are on the road leading to Coco's house. So we have the Azayama gazebo. I always forget the name of it, but the mossy one. We've got a little storage shed, and then the small kind of peninsula is where I've put Coco's house. And I've just tried to kind of extend the jungle feel over on the peninsula, so lots of trees, obviously the mushrooms, the tiki torch, the little lion dog kind of statue things. Just kind of really trying to add that atmosphere. I ended up moving Coco's house from where Boris was originally, on the right hand side of the map, over to here, because she looks a little bit kind of strange, and she's got that kind of air of mystery, so I thought she would be more suited to the kind of UFO build site. And I thought it was funny to have Filbert kind of focusing all his attention on Roswell being this kind of alien and all these kind of conspiracies around that, and yet he just kind of ignores the fact that Coco is a little bit weird. Just a little bit of a fun kind of addition to my lore. So guys, I'm going to end today's episode here. Thank you very much if you watched this far into the video. Obviously, if you like the video, please hit like and consider subscribing if you haven't done already. My next few videos, I'm going to be focusing on Jailtown and getting all the villagers that have moved in from the normal Peppy and the lazy hunt, as well as trying to move the smug campsite villager in as well. My next video as far as Tanglewood will actually be a villager hunt. I've had Fauna decide that she wants to move, and as she was an autofill, I decided I'd let her. So yeah, we're going to either sort out a species roulette or it'll just be a standard hunt for Rudy. Hopefully we can manage to sort something out. But thank you very much. See you in the next one, and I hope you have a good one. Cheers!